The Laundering, Volume 2, Case 28, The Partner. GigWorks Be Your Own Boss, read not as a labor rights brief, but as a single, laundered word. Open the case.
Be Your Own Boss is Uber's recruiting line, and, the company has argued in court, it is also the legal claim the whole arrangement rests on. A driver is not an employee owed a wage and a holiday, but an independent contractor running a business of one. The claim of this case is narrow. The entrepreneurial vocabulary, boss, partner, independent, flexible, is the face of the instrument. The controlled, price-set, monitored relation is the small print. When a court was asked to read the relation instead of the label, it found a worker.
Why not read this as a simple fight over benefits?
Because that reading retires the structure. Be Your Own Boss is not loose marketing, it is a definitional move. The grammar beneath every case calls it the definitional dodge. Do not deny the relation, swap the standard for what the relation counts as. Here, the standard swapped is the meaning of employment itself. Call the worker a boss, a partner, an independent, and the wage relation is reclassified by vocabulary before a single fact is examined. As a business, someone chose to run.
And the premises?
4. 1. The choice is real at retail. A driver may pick which platform and when to switch the app on. Granted in full. 2. The relation underneath is controlled. The platform sets the price, the terms, the route, the rating, and the power to switch the worker off. 3. Retail choice does not convert a controlled relation into self-employment. The freedom to choose a buyer is not the freedom to decline to sell. 4. The spine. The entrepreneurial vocabulary is offered as if it settles the matter. You are your own boss, therefore a contractor, and that substitution, the word standing in for the relation, is the laundering.
Set the vocabulary aside. What did the platform actually control?
In Uber BV versus Aslam, the UK Supreme Court listed it. The price of the service. Uber set the fare. The driver could not raise it. The terms of the contract, dictated by Uber, not negotiated. Whether to accept the work, Uber monitored acceptance and penalized refusals. How the service was delivered. Uber set the route and rated the driver against it. The relationship with the customer. Uber barred drivers from contacting passengers beyond the trip.
Every one of those is a power a real business holds over its own work.
And here, each is held over the worker instead. An independent contractor sets their own price. At Uber, the price is set centrally, dynamically, by a calculation the driver cannot see, and the work is monitored through the sensors in the driver's own phone. NPR called it the faceless boss. The court's own words, the service is very tightly defined and controlled by Uber. The driver's perceived as substantially interchangeable.
The tell here is not an organizer's.
No, it is a unanimous Supreme Court's. On the 19th of February 2021, in Aslam, the UK Supreme Court held the drivers were workers, owed the minimum wage and paid holiday from the moment they logged on. Not the self-employed contractors, their contracts declared them. Lord Legate's reasoning is, this whole case stated as law. Worker status is a question of statutory interpretation, not contractual interpretation. A court must find the true agreement from how the relation operates, not from the words the stronger party wrote into the document.
So the court refused to start from the contract.
Because to start from the contract would let the party that drafts it define the worker out of the protection the statute exists to give. That refusal is the countermove the whole series turns on. Read the relation, not the paperwork. Put the agent back in the sentence. A boss who sets the price is a boss. A boss who takes the price the app sets is a worker with a better word for it.
If a court can read past the label, what stops the next one?
Rewrite the label into law so there is nothing left to read past. That is the California chapter. In 2019, the state passed AB5, whose test would have classified most app-based drivers as employees. In response, the platforms wrote and funded Proposition 22, a 2020 ballot measure, exempting themselves and fixing independent contractor as the driver's status in law. They spent a combined $205.7 million, the most expensive ballot measure campaign in California history.
And it held up?
It passed with 58.6%. Labor groups challenged it, and in Castellanos versus State of California, in July 2024, the California Supreme Court upheld it. This is Case 21's Definitional Dodge with a receipt. The definition was not merely adopted, but purchased, then judicially blessed. But note what the ruling decided: a narrow constitutional question about the initiative power over workers' compensation, not whether the relation is controlled. It did not unfind what Aslam found. It let the laundered word stand in law, regardless.
Underneath all of this sits an older argument, a Marxist one, and the series reports it as a named lens. When a worker sells their labor power for a wage, is that a voluntary exchange? The worker may choose which buyer, this platform or that, but cannot, the argument runs, choose not to sell at all, because the alternative is destitution. So the choice is real in its retail form and absent in its wholesale one. You pick the counterparty, not whether to have one. And the coercion has no single author.
Which is exactly the shape this series tracks, a structural outcome with the agent's slot left empty. This is the reading the prompting image makes. We name it, attribute it, and do not adopt it. The way Case 22 reports the anarchist objection to the census, and the Dignity edition holds that a choice is only free if the alternatives are real. The platform's own claim is narrower and survives without it. Whatever one concludes about wage labor in general, the word "be your own boss" reclassifies a relation the control list will not support.
Be precise about the limits.
It does not claim gig work should not exist, that flexibility is fictional, or that no one prefers the arrangement. Many do, and Premise 1 grants it. It does not adopt the conclusion that all wage labor is coercion. It reports that as a named lens. It alleges no illegality. Aslam settled the UK question one way, Castellanos settled the California question the other, and both are law where they sit.
Then what is the claim?
This, a controlled, price-taking, monitored relation, is addressed in the vocabulary of an independent enterprise. The word boss is made to do the reclassifying, the relation will not. And where a court read the relation instead of the word, it found a worker. While where the word was written into law, the relation went on unchanged beneath it. The honest test is the relation. Show a platform where the worker sets the price and the word comes true.
Strip it to the structure. No villain is required, and none is named.
A company markets a job in the vocabulary of a business. A contract records the worker as a contractor. A statute, bought and upheld, fixes the classification in law. Each step is, on its own, lawful and ordinary, and the integration of the ordinary steps is a wage relation that moves through the world, wearing the costume of an enterprise. Its missing agent, the boss who sets the price, present everywhere and accountable nowhere. That is the definitional dodge run on the meaning of work itself. How do we read the next one? When the next "be your own boss" arrives, for a courier, a creator, a partner of any platform, read it against the control list. If the worker sets the price, the word is true. If the platform does, the word is the wash. The relation need never change, only its name.